Hey everyone, LJ, back to poster response to DV Dude's first royal thread in your 4 or 5 questions. Got them right here. Some really good, interesting questions and tagging a contest onto the end of it. It was brilliant. Brilliant way to entice responses. Actually, after I heard your questions, I couldn't wait to shoot a response to this. So, on with the show. Question number 1. Name one artist or group that you could automatically identify when you hear them. I actually heard a lot of great responses to this. I would say, for me, this could be Duran Duran. I'm a Duranie, definitely. Way back. Long time Duranie. And Duran Duran is one that you can just peg right away. One of the reasons I picked Duran Duran, or a couple of the reasons, is even when they splintered off and done side projects like Arcadia, or the other members took off to Power Station with Robert Palmer, you could still pick that Duran Duran sound up right away. I don't know, at least I could. You just something about Simon's voice or the guitars, the keyboards, you can just peg Duran Duran like that. I remember not all that long ago hearing their cover of Lay Lady Lay, Bob Dylan's Lay Lady Lay, for the first time. It was just something about the guitars, that dream, ethereal-like state. You know, it was just right away, that's Duran Duran, and didn't even know it at the time. But so yeah, that's one. I thought another one would definitely be something like Metallica. You know, whether they're singing or not, something without even the voice, without James Hetfield even singing, something about the way Kirk plays guitar or the way Lars plays drums, you know it's Metallica right away. That's a good question, and I guess a lot of bands just have their own sound, and now more are coming to me. Snow Patrol, Keen, things like that. I'm trying to think, if they weren't even singing, would you know it? And those are some that I would. 2. What technical aspect of vinyl collecting, apart from the actual records themselves, make it difficult, huh? Do you actually enjoy? Technical aspects of vinyl collecting I enjoy. I definitely have gotten more into receivers, amplifiers, stereos, whatever, to the point where I now probably have a few too many laying around the house. But getting them and taking them apart, blowing them out, doing the whole de-opposite thing, and replacing capacitors, and just learning about that, and the changes it can make, recapping them has definitely become a huge interest. My favorite, the one that I use as my primary one, is a Nico, an older Nico. It's a monster. It's huge. It's something like 135 watts per channel, and it has a little issue where the speakers cut out in stereo sometimes, and only both of them will come on in mono every now and then. And it's my mission to figure out what's causing it and fix it. I have no idea about it. So that's definitely one issue, or one aspect rather, I've gotten into and started to enjoy. Second, to a much lesser state, would be styluses and cartridges. The first turntable I got, it had an old radio broadcast, like Stanton 500 cartridge on it, and I asked some questions on the Audio Karma forums, and a guy that looks a lot like Freddie Mercury kind of gave me some tips and advice on, you know, what would be the best replacement to get. I ended up going with a Shure M97XE, which I love. It sounds fantastic, great soundstage. But there's so many others out there that I wanted to try. The Orotophone, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Super OM10, the long skinny one. They're just so expensive, $75, $85, $100 and on up, that, you know, it's going to have to be a pretty audible, sizable difference to make that kind of purchase. So for right now, I'm happy with what I have. It works and it sounds great, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Question 3. Good thing I wrote down the numbers. Talk about or show a record that you've struggled to find a genre for, or a label with a genre. I thought of really one right off the bat, and more of a genre in particular maybe, is soundtracks. Like Less Than Zero, for example. Less Than Zero is a great example. You have Danzig, you have Slayer, you have Public Enemy, you have Aerosmith. So you've got metal, you've got rock, you've got hip-hop, and on and on and on. So soundtracks are always so difficult to peg that they have their own little space. And the problem with that is when you're listening to like music, you almost forget about it. Because you go digging for similar or like music, or at least I do. I don't know if you do, whatever, but before you call that a cheat and say all soundtracks are like that, here's a Pink example of why that's not true. Pink Panther Strikes Again, Henry Mancini's soundtrack, not only is it awesome, but it's jazz. Very definitely, in my opinion anyways, you guys might disagree, but this is jazz, so it's very easy to file under jazz with the rest of Mancini's records, even though somewhere in my mind it's a soundtrack, so I want to file it there, but I won't. But soundtracks in general, I've heard some great examples. You know, Sam said the White Album, that's a great one, but for me, soundtracks just tend to be hard. Last. Oh, wait a minute. Something like Sigur Rós or Mogwai came to mind too. Where the hell do you put them? You definitely put them in my car. I love them. By, what is that? Is that rock, experimental, trip, trance? It's noise, but it's good noise. I don't know shit. Fourth and combined with fifth. Name an artist that is mainstream that you don't like, but name one song that you do like. So that's questions 4 and 5. Lady Gaga. Mainstream. Don't like her. Can't stand her. Lady blah blah. Lady Gaga. But I will admit I love Poker Face. Love Poker Face. And I love Poker Face. And that was kind of when she came smashing on the scene because it instantly reminded me of Tainted Love by Soft Cell. I thought we had a new wave resurgence on our hands, to the likes of something like an ABC or Soft Cell, and I got excited, and then it went downhill from there. Ali Alejandro, Fernando, all them guys, what the hell ever, what are you doing, where did it go? It went bad, but, so, if I can find a 12-inch single of Poker Face, done. That's it. Those are my answers. There you go, man. I hope you liked them. One other thing that just came to mind, I wrote a note down here. It's PJ Harvey is queen of all, and Conrad is her royal subject.